She is paid lots of money to be in TV commercials. She's beautiful and glamorous. Her name is Magali Amadei, and she has been a top model for most of the decade.
Good. It's like being the princess of the fairy tale. Anything you say happens. The best places are given to you. You're treated like royalty. Just like that.
But Magali's fairy tale has plenty of dark chapters that she has kept secret until now. She's speaking out at high schools like this one in New York City to spread the word that all the glitz and all the glamour were truly skin deep.
I was 21 years old, and it had been 7 years that I was flushing my life down the toilet.
Literally. Magali's story is about a 7-year battle with bulimia, a life-threatening eating disorder that caused her to binge and then vomit several times a day.
What happens, it's kind of a click in your head. It's a conscious decision when you look at food and you eat everything that your stomach can stand until it hurts. I wanted to make myself feel bad and then purge by vomiting.
Magali says the seeds of the disorder took root in what appeared to be the perfect childhood in France. Characteristic of a bulimic, Magali was a high achiever. At the top of her class, she would eventually speak 5 languages and was planning to be a surgeon.
I always tried to make everything perfect.
And if something wasn't perfect?
That wasn't an option.
She was a teenager when her drive for perfection became a dangerous obsession. She says triggered by a single comment.
I was coming out of my high school, and someone told me that I was fat. That was it. I couldn't be fat. And from that moment on, I lost reality. My life changed. I became bulimic.
How can such an offhand comment or comments have such a profound impact?
There are people who are very vulnerable to those types of comments.
Claire Misko runs the American Anorexia Bulimia Association.
People who may be more psychologically vulnerable, who may have other problems going on in their lives, who may have low self-esteem already, and those are the young people who do not respond well to those types of comments.
And while Magali can't blame one factor for her bulimia, she says she was depressed and felt empty.
I felt like a big black hole in a galaxy somewhere that could suck in things, but nothing could fill in that hole. As the years went on, that hole got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Would the food fill that void?
It did, for the rush that I felt afterwards, because I felt in control.
But she wasn't. Magali's insecurities intensified when she became a model at the age of 17, and her obsession with food and weight became even worse.
Becoming a model was kind of the worst thing that could have happened to me, because from that moment on, I was judged on what I looked like.
Not a good thing for a person who has bulimia.
No. That was like my nightmare come true.
Magali was convinced she was fat, and in an industry not known for its sensitivity, there were those who would cruelly confirm her deepest fears.
One time I had a stylist in Italy when I was doing a fitting say, you know, in Italian, that I just looked like a cow. But I, you know, pretended it didn't hurt me.
Magali coped in the only way she knew how, like a bulimic.
I didn't say anything. I just went back to my hotel, bought a whole lot of food on the way because I knew I was going to eat and purge. That's all I knew to do to those kind of comments.
You wouldn't know from these pictures, but Magali says modeling these swimsuits on Mustique Island made her feel fat and self-conscious. Fueled by these feelings of self-hate, Magali's bulimia spiraled out of control.
At your worst, how many times were you vomiting a day?
Up to 7 times a day.
Magali, that is incredible.
I know.
On the outside, Magali was picture perfect. But on the inside, malnutrition, extreme dehydration, and regurgitated stomach acids were destroying her body.
My hair was brittle. I had dark circles. My teeth. I have like, 10, 11 caps, I think, and I don't know how many root canals. My nails were brittle too. My intestines were not functioning.
Incredibly, Magali lived like that for 2 more years, secretly binging and purging until her body could no longer tolerate the abuse. On this photo shoot for the French magazine Madame Figaro, Magali collapsed in the bathroom, having taken 40 laxatives the night before.
When I ended up on the floor with shakes, sweats, I didn't think I was going to be able to get up because my cramps were so powerful and they wouldn't go away. I scared myself.
Did you ever think you were going to die?
I thought I was going to die then. Oh, yeah.
Can someone die who has bulimia?
Yes.
What will they die of?
There's an electrolyte imbalance that occurs from purging, which puts a person at very high risk for cardiac arrest.
Magali had hit rock bottom.
Sometimes I would fly to a job, and the idea that the plane would crash would be a very nice thought in my head. It would be such a relief. I was exhausted, mentally, physically, of keeping that secret.
How did you get better, Magali?
I reached out. I told someone I loved and I trusted. That was the first time I felt a relief. That's the first time I felt better.
Coming forward with the secret, telling someone else, is very difficult. It's overwhelming. But it is the first step to getting help.
Sounds incredibly difficult.
There's so much shame and so much secrecy. And the nature of an eating disorder is that you hide it from everyone.
No longer ashamed, Magali began the hard work of getting better. Instead of using an obsession with food and weight to distract herself from her problems, Magali found healthier ways to cope with stress.
I worked on myself. I started doing things that I liked. I started acknowledging that there were feelings that I was keeping down. I started reliving.
Magali resumed modeling, working only with people who supported her and who made her feel comfortable. But she worries that by working in an industry that promotes unattainable images of beauty, she may be helping to trap others into the same obsessive pursuit of perfection. Even Magali says many of her photographs had to be retouched to achieve the perfect look.
What do you say to the young women out there who are looking at these pictures thinking, how could I ever look like this? It's not even possible.
Well, no, it's not possible.
Magali showed us why.
I like to think of myself as a woman that has breasts, but obviously I don't have that much. You might not,
I don't know many people who have that much. Yeah. They look like they pumped helium into those.
But, yeah.
That was in 1994. Representatives for Cosmopolitan say that retouchers don't pump up the cover model's breasts anymore. In this current ad, a slightly longer front tooth has been shortened.
This has just been straightened out a little bit.
Chopped off.
In this bathing suit layout, she says her waist has been slimmed.
Perfection is reached through retouching. It's not reached in reality.
Perfect. Chin down right on the shoulder.
The photos from what she feels will be her most important shoot will not be retouched.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Magali's battle with bulimia will be featured inside Glamour's November issue.
Now, turn the head.
For this photograph, she isn't wearing the latest fashions, and she isn't advertising anything except the idea that there is nothing shameful about having bulimia.
You chose to do a nude photo for Glamour magazine. Sounds to me like a pretty strong message there.
I guess, they want to say that I don't have anything to hide anymore. Many occasions I was told to lose weight.
It has been 4.5 years since Magali began her recovery, a process that is ongoing, and she says greatly helped every time she reaches out.
But the fatter I felt, the more pressure I was under.
Magali, if you can connect with one young woman in each audience from these schools, what do you hope they walk away with?
I hope they understand they don't have to suffer in silence anymore. I hope they understand that no matter what they see in magazines, beauty doesn't equal happiness.
Oh, boy. But Perry, it isn't just models and it isn't just magazines. I mean, the whole country seems to be thinner and thinner. Stars in movies and television are skinnier. Even young kids worry about it.
There's no question about it, Barbara. This is not a model's disease. Everywhere we go, we are bombarded with these images of very thin people. So it should come as no surprise that a young person might equate being perfect with being thin, sometimes dangerously thin.
Bulimia is not the same as anorexia.
No question about it. A bulimic person eats a lot, so they appear sometimes even heavy, if not normal. Whereas an anorexic person is controlling rigidly how much they eat, often appearing emaciated. But you know, they are both very, very serious eating disorders that can kill.
And as we said, even the very youngest kid says, I'm too fat.
That's right.
Yeah. Perry, thank you, and thanks to Magali.
Magali.
We'll be right back.